Hi, it's Alan again with evidence number 40 of 1,000 evidences of the LDS Church. Today we're going to be talking about Lehi, as he is known by the Islamic people. Many people are surprised that the Muslims know so much about Lehi. We should not be surprised because according to the Book of Mormon, Lehi and his people, his family and the family of Ishmael, left Jerusalem, went south along the borders of the Red Sea, and that would put him in what is now present-day Arabia. And they would have passed through the cities of Mecca, if it existed at that time, and Medina, which are near the Red Sea in western Arabia. So we should not be surprised to see that there are some evidence of knowledge of Lehi. And by the way, this information can be fact-checked in the Encyclopedia of Islam. They have quite a bit of information about the Lehianites. Lehianites, it says, are a group of people that are descended from the time of Lehi, who was teaching the people. And if we back up, we realize that as Lehi spent 8 years traveling from Jerusalem to the time that they constructed his ship, it took 8 years, and he had time to stop at some of the towns. When people read the Book of Mormon, we don't read about them stopping at any towns, especially when they come to places where it says we came to a place which we called Shazer, for instance. But then there's other places where they indicate we came to a place called, such as Nahom, as if it had already existed. And so obviously they stayed with the people in the cities and taught them the gospel. In the Doctrine and Covenants, when the Lord revealed through the prophet Joseph Smith that the 12 apostles should be sent out to preach the gospel to the nations of the earth, it says that they should preach as Nephi and Lehi did in the wilderness. Well, they didn't just preach to the cactus, no, they preached to people along the way. And so we know that according to the Encyclopedia of Islam and the other scholars and historians, they find that these legends are very well documented. That this Lehi, according to the non-LDS sources and non-LDS scholars, came through the western part of Arabia along the Dead Sea or the Red Sea in around 600 BC, and that's the time period that the Book of Mormon gives for their travel. And according to the Muslim sources, this Lehi was able to speak not only Arabic, but he spoke Hebrew. And we can tell from the Book of Mormon how it was written in part of Hebrew and part Egyptian, that he was a well-educated man that could also speak Egyptian. So they have all this information about this Lehi, who preached the gospel to these people in his day. And so in the articles, the sources from the Muslim writings, we find that this Lehi was very influential. And in fact, these people, these Lehianites of today, if you Google that name, I think you could find some very significant information. Do some fact checking. And these Lehianites had very great influence, obviously, on Muhammad, who came 600 AD. When Muhammad established the Islamic religion and came up with the Quran, obviously he included parts of the legends that he had heard which originated from Lehi. You can't have, and I have a list of at least 130 parallels between the Quran and the Book of Mormon. Concepts and indications that indicate there's no chance. People say, well, there's maybe it was a coincidence. Come on, let's get real about this. You can't have 130 accidental coincidences. No, Lehi and his people obviously had a great influence upon the people of Arabia and eventually upon Muhammad and his religion. A few examples might include that the Book of Mormon says, hold fast to the iron rod, and the Quran says, hold fast to the cable of Allah. And the Book of Mormon talks about how good of a person Adam was. Almost all of the Christian churches, if not all, say that Adam was a terrible sinner that almost ruined the Lord's plan of salvation and of mankind. And the Book of Mormon says, no, he was a good man. He was a great prophet. And the fall was not all that tragic because it provided the way for the Savior. The Quran says Adam was a good man. He was favored of the Lord. And even after the fall, the Quran talks about several heavens, not just one heaven and one hell. And the LDS Church speaks of several heavens. And in the Quran, the highest heaven is symbolized by the sun. The next heaven is symbolized by the moon, and the next heaven is symbolized by the stars. They also talk about the paradise, beautiful paradise, which the Book of Mormon talks about. So, in other words, there's many parallels. Another link we may talk about in another broadcast is about their knowledge of Jared and his brother. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you later for segment number 41.